Happy Friday and greetings from outside my Medellin, Colombia apartment. I decided to switch it up this week and share a little bit about my epic adventures last week and the mishaps, as well as some of the lessons gleaned via video. Now apparently Mercury was in retrograde, which would probably explain some of the happenings. Now for those of you who have been following know that I spilled a little bit of mango juice on my laptop last week and now it is no longer working. That was the first mishap, and as a result, almost didn't go on this epic adventure that I had planned. However, I decided at the last second I'm still going to do it, and I took my broken laptop with me, hoping that magically it would switch on again after a few days. Now, I didn't necessarily plan everything that I was going to do, and because I wasn't even sure if I was going to go, I was up until the wee hours of the morning the night before my flight, trying to figure out where I might be staying. So much so that when my alarm went off in the morning, I slept through it. I got up almost an hour later than what I was going to leave to get to the airport. I got up, I threw some water on my face, brushed my teeth, threw the last things in my bag, and was off to the airport. I almost didn't make it because I was using one of those airlines where you had to print a boarding pass or have a printed boarding pass before you could check in. Now, the check-in desk was closed. They were not going to let me on the flight. They said there's no way I was going to be able to make it. However, someone ushered me to this little stall across the way where you could send something to be printed, and for a few cents they would do that for you. So I rushed, I ran, I tried to connect to the Wi-Fi at the airport, sent them an email with the link. It opened, it printed out, took a really, really long time, but eventually I had that piece of paper in my hand and I flew to the security gates. I got through, I got past, made it to my gate. Luckily it was a pretty small airport, and I still managed to get a cafe tinto or a black coffee before being one of the last to board the plane. I was off. Landed in Santa Marta, wanted to see a little bit of the town, and thought I'm going to jump on the public bus, which actually doesn't even stop as it passes through the airport. You literally have to jump on. Now, the town wasn't supposed to be far away. Almost an hour later, I arrive. Mental note, don't always try and save your pennies. I did get to see a little bit of the town, but I also wanted to get on my way. My plan was to get to Tayrona National Park. So I found out you had to get to the market. I got on the public bus, had some street snacks and some water, and off I went. We arrived at Tayrona National Park and it closed a few hours later. This was the afternoon by this point. So in an effort to save time, I had heard that you could ride horses along the path, along the hike to get to the beach. And I was hoping that there would still be space at this one campsite because I didn't have anything arranged. I get to the place where you can jump on a horse, and I told the man, I want a horse that can run. First mistake. Anyhow, Jorge gives me this horse Rascuello, and it's just going to be him and I, and he ushers me up in front. Yes, I think I can run. So we start running, and then we get faster and faster, and I have this perma-smile on my face, much like a few minutes before, maybe an hour before, where I got off the bus too early before the entrance of the park, had to wait for the next bus, didn't really want to wait, and so when I saw this nice looking gentleman on a motorcycle zoom past, I waved at him, Pepe his name was, and he threw me on the back of his motorcycle. So that was my first experience of perma-smile level 3 fun racing down the highway. Anyway, I was experiencing this again on Rascuello the horse. But then at one point I thought, maybe I should slow down and wait for the guide to catch up because I don't really know where I'm going. So I did that. And when the guide did finally caught up, he thought, I think we maybe should switch horses because your horse is a little bit loco or crazy. And I thought, nah, I got this. So we kept going. But Rascuello decided he wanted to keep going on another different level, taking it to like a level that I had never experienced before. So we were galloping and then some. And that perma-smile slowly started to change when I realized I don't think I've ever gone this fast on a horse, ever. Suddenly, my right foot comes out of the stirrup and I lose a little bit of my balance. And my backpack is going up and down because I have this massive backpack with a broken laptop. I thought, I got this. I've never fallen off a horse and it's not about to happen now. When suddenly, my left foot comes out of the stirrup, and all of a sudden I'm holding on to that pommel for dear life, and I realize I really have lost control at this point. And the only thing that was going to slow me down was by me falling off. You know, one of those moments where you just know something's going to happen? That's what happened. And sure enough, I slid off Rascuello as hard as I tried to fight it and fell, and he just took off running. Now, luckily, other than a pretty banged up elbow and bruises all down my legs, I survived. When the guide finally found me again and put me on his horse, I wasn't necessarily in the mood to continue to run. So we finally found Rascuello again, but I did not get back on his back and eventually made it to the campsite. At this point, I just wanted to rinse my elbow, sit and relax and enjoy the beach. But I had to wait in line, hoping and praying that there would still be room. Turns out there was one tent left that I was going to be sharing with this nice looking Argentinian woman. At first, I kind of wanted to opt for the hammock, but when they said, "Why don't the two of you share?" and she looked at me as if she was excited, I thought, can't let her down. Okay, share a tent with a stranger. Why not? Epic adventure, right? So we do that, and eventually when we get into our tent that evening, which is this tiny thing with a 1-inch little mattress, I thought this will be nice. Sleeping outside, an experience, until it starts raining and raining and raining. Now, when you're in a tent and it first starts raining, it's kind of fun, right? You hear it, you feel like you're peaceful and cozy inside. Yeah, not this time. We had no fly on our tent, and the rain was not stopping. It started thundering and getting heavier and heavier, and all of a sudden, the rain is now in our tent. I felt so bad for this girl next to me because she continued to slide water off of our mattress throughout the night. It was one of the longest nights of my life. And when we woke up in the morning, we had a puddle of water under each of us, our feet and our fingers all wrinkles. Now, I was supposed to stay another night and go up the beach to this place called Castello Beach, where there was this cute little surfer camp, and I thought, I don't think I have it in me. So instead, I decided to opt to go to Cartagena, which is this beautiful old colonial town I would soon learn, and book myself into a boutique hotel, which I did on the bus there, found a great deal and splurged, and really enjoyed a beautiful king-size bed, a hot shower, and a gorgeous rooftop view. So these were the three big things that happened to me last week. My laptop was broken due to some mango juice. I got thrown off a horse, and I got totally flooded in on my tent. Why did these things happen? Well, maybe there's a lesson in all of this. For one, the laptop. Maybe I don't feel like I need to be connected to that digital device all the time. Maybe it is okay to disconnect. And even though for those of us who are working abroad, it is our lifeline, there is more to life than that too. I survived. Number two, getting thrown off the horse. I love going fast. I love rushing. Galloping gives me that thrill. But in life, maybe it's not always about going as fast as you can. Maybe sometimes going too fast does mean you're going out of control and not enjoying the experience. And number three, getting flooded in the tent. And I wasn't quite sure what lesson this was teaching me until I had some reflection from one of my friends, and it was that maybe I'm not in the same place I was when I was backpacking 10 years ago. Maybe it's okay to admit that I like nicer things in life, that I do enjoy hotels, that maybe I'm ready to up-level myself in my life and in my business. So those were my three lessons gleaned. Now, it turns out I had a wonderful weekend in Cartagena, and then we ended up going to this beautiful place called Casa in Agua, this house in the middle of the water, 2 hours off the coast. Now, it was supposed to be that time that I was disconnecting, and in fact, I had to work because I didn't do very much the few days leading up to it, but it was still a lovely place to be. So all in all, it was an epic adventure, but just not necessarily in the way that I initially thought. However, lessons learned, and I'm still smiling. So my question to you is, what adventures or mishaps have you experienced that maybe didn't necessarily go according to plan? We can plan or not all we want in life, and sometimes it's going to unfold how it's supposed to. So what are we supposed to learn in those moments? And who do you need to be in order to reflect, look back, and see where you are growing, where you're learning, and who you need to become as a result? So those are my lessons gleaned. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening. And I want to know, do you enjoy videos or do you prefer reading my Happy Fridays? Because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the most value and filling you in on my adventures along the way. So until next time, happy Friday. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again soon.